Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show.
I'm seeing someone new, Tuesdays at 4. She thinks she knows what's best. Of course, she's been twice divorced. She's tried to convince me calling you won't help, but I know that you're working. I can talk to your voicemail and tell you. You said I was enough. Guess that I called you.
What's up, everybody? Another week, another edition of the show. It means we keep going for as long as possible, as our opening credits call for. We're trying to keep this going as long as possible so we can help bands such as the band that I have here today. I have Jennica and Digo from the awesome band Colatura that I found doing my stupid deep dives into music and finding stuff that connects with me and makes me keep going back and listening to it. Reached out and they're here today. So Jennica and Digo, welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Oh, I'm excited to have you here. I mean, I reached out to you. You guys were on tour, and you still took the time to write back to me. So for that, I mean, thank you so much for even taking the time to read the email and respond while you were busy as hell. So
Yeah.
how did tour go? How are you guys feeling now that you're back and had a couple of weeks to try to get back into what is not touring life?
Yeah, it was a tour was wild, a lot of driving, straight into Thanksgiving with family. So last week we were kind of just like on the couch staring at the wall for 3 or 4 days trying to recover, but I feel back and ready. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, tour was awesome. We were in Europe for a month, which is the longest we've ever toured in one go. And we had never gone to Europe before to play music. So it was a new experience, but it was really rad. I mean, they treat artists really well over there. We pretty much got housing and dinner and sometimes breakfast everywhere we went. And just people were excited to have an American band there. And it was just really cool. I didn't have the problem with the driving because Digo's the only one who knows how to drive manual. So he did all the driving.
Yeah.
Across the bear.
It was brutal. It was honestly
1 month driving every day.
Every day, yeah.
He taught me how to drive a stick towards the end of the trip. So I did a couple stretches on the highway where you don't really have to change gears.
Yeah. Where I'd be an extra shifting for yeah.
Yeah. Okay, put your left foot down now,
exactly.
Okay, and I'll shift. Okay. Yeah, because you don't want to burn out the clutch right at the beginning of tour.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they do take care of artists very well over there. I mean, there had been some places here that had tried to do that, where they had built some venues in Brooklyn, it's I hate it so much because I'm 28 miles away and it takes 3.5 hours to get there. But they had built these really cool venues, and the venues had an apartment upstairs, with 5 bedrooms and a kitchen and a pool outside. And of course they spent all this money and then realized, when you're hosting, some indie bands that and your capacity to the room is 150 people, you're probably not going to be able to pay to keep that open in an area like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that how it works in Europe is they get a lot of money from the government with grants and things like that. So they help subsidize the art so they can bring, American bands or bands from Europe and, that don't have a giant fan base and still, get them in rooms, and full of people and make it possible. So it's pretty rad. I wish that we did something like that over here, but
instead of taking all the money away from the arts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And putting it to the football team.
Yeah, exactly.
So who's a better storyteller of how this project came together? To give, we don't need a 45-minute thing. We always look for Cliff's notes, but just how this whole project became what it is and where it stands today.
I don't know.
We've both done it. I think we've heard each other say it at this point enough times that we probably both have the same story. Maybe not.
Why don't you tell it?
Okay. I mean, basically we met when we were working in a restaurant, so completely unrelated to music. And Digo was in another band in Brooklyn. So we met, we live in Pittsburgh now, but we met and were based in Brooklyn until about 1.5 years ago. So
good for you for getting out.
The best decision we've ever made.
Seriously. I mean, we go back a lot, but it's nice to be out. So we met working in a restaurant. He was in a band that was kind of on the outs, and I had not really been in a band, but had always wanted to. And he was like, "We should start a band." So I grew up playing piano. So he was like, "Oh, you should play synth or keyboard or something." And I was like, No, I want to do something different. So I learned how to play bass and we started the band. We were a 3-piece originally. And kind of took a while to figure out our sound, but have sort of honed it in a little bit more every time we put stuff out.
Well, I mean, starting off by saying you were never in a band and I want to be in a band, and Digo goes, "Let's start a band." So yeah, figuring out your sound is going to take a little bit of time to get to where you want to be. And it really has, if you go back, which I implore everyone to not just always listen to the newest release, but to see like the maturation process in a band trying to figure out their sound, because some of the old stuff that doesn't sound anything like the new stuff could sometimes be like, you almost get the best of both. You get like two bands in one. And that's what I love. And that was one of the things going back to your early releases to now is like, I can see the difference. I can hear the difference, but it's like, it doesn't take anything away from what you were figuring out in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was funny. There was some pressure when we put this EP out to like change our band name and to like rebrand and everything. But we
pressure from us, just to be clear.
Pressure from us, but also from, we talked to some labels and they were also saying that, you know, that it could be advantageous for us, but we've always kind of liked the journey, like having the journey, like having it out there, and like that we were kind of like green and throwing things at the wall and seeing kind of what our sound was, and just like as you listen through our discography, you can kind of see us kind of evolving into what we become, I think. And I always like that with the band.
Yeah, I had an early, years. It might have been like our fifth guest or something, but it was a band that I was helping with an album, and they had changed so much from the first thing that they released to the very next release that I was just like, aren't you like afraid of like the fan base you've already started? Like you literally just went from like one sound to a completely different band, like to the very next album. And like the best answer I ever got, it was like, we don't even know who we are yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's great answer. That's fine. Now I'm in, because like if you think about it, like, because like some bands will try to change on purpose, but it's like we don't even know what we are. Like we made an album, yeah, and that was that, and like we're still trying to figure out what type of band we are. And it was like, when I say drastic difference, I mean it went from hard driving rock guitar to all of a sudden it's just synth laden simple drum beats, and I'm just like, what happened? Like,
yeah.
what? And they were just like, we don't know what kind of band we are yet. I was like, that's fine. I'm all in then.
Yeah, we're definitely, our old stuff is a lot different. I think we took a slightly more gradual path, but I don't know. I feel like we're both such a product of what we're currently listening to that it's just like, I don't know, it's going to change because what we're listening to is always going to change. And
yeah. And then being on tour in Europe and for that whole month, and having just our other band members like taking over the aux and playing, you know, a bunch of music that we wouldn't put on, you know, is like, now we're back in writing mode. And it's definitely, I see some of that stuff seeping into our writing, which is really cool. And I like that.
Yeah, well, it's hard to know where and when inspiration is going to come, right? And how it comes.
Yeah.
It could just be like a dripping faucet in the background that you don't even, you know, it's there, but you don't recognize it. But that could be the cause of like, oh, wow, this would work really cool here.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, totally. So,
now,
yeah, go ahead.
From something like that, I mean, I want to start, and it's, I'll name the person I'm going to ask the question to, but you're both going to have the same exact question, because I want to get to a deeper knowing of you as musical entities. So, Jennica, there's this moment as a child when, like you said, you played piano for a long time, but you hear music for the first time and music kind of takes a hold of you. Do you kind of remember if it was an artist or a song or something that as a small child, it kind of made you for the first time like notice and make your ear stand up, and one of those things where you're in the back of a car, play it again, play it again, play it again. Do you remember that feeling, or what it was? Or did you have that feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I have sort of a unusual background in that everyone in my family is a musician, but not like rock. My parents are both opera singers. One of my grandmothers was a piano teacher, which is hence why I studied piano. And then my other grandmother was also an opera singer. And then I was enrolled in the Metropolitan Opera Children's Chorus starting at 5 years old. So it was like pretty much.
At least there was no pressure. At least there was no pressure on you.
So I was surrounded by classical music from the moment. I mean, there's a story my parents love to tell about when I was born in the delivery room, my dad like broke out into an aria. The second I was born, they like handed me to him and he started singing. So, but the first thing that wasn't opera that I really became obsessed with was the Beatles. So my parents didn't listen to anything other than opera. They were both, my mom was a little bit better than my dad, but my dad was like very snobby, classical music or nothing. So I didn't really hear anything until I was in like maybe elementary school. I think it was like first or second grade. I had a friend who was really into the Beatles and like other stuff from that era. And I remember her going over to her house and her playing it for me in her bedroom and being like, what is this? And then I was like, I want to be in a band. And I didn't know how to write anything. So I was just writing songs that sounded like Beatles songs. I'm pretty sure were Beatles songs that I was just ripping off. But that's the first thing that I remember being like, oh my God, what? Like there's music that's not opera. And it's really cool.
Wow. Yeah, that is a unique way to find something else. I don't envy you having to deal with that at such a small age with all that pressure, but you're making some badass shit now. So
thanks.
It all led you
it's
to
funny.
there.
I actually had to introduce my dad to he had never listened to the Beatles before. And so we would like take these long road trips and we'd play through the entire discography. And I'd be like, see, this is cool. And he was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. I don't know why I never listened to it.
Wow. Great teacher you are.
Yeah.
How about you, Digo?
The first kind of music that I heard that kind of was like, yeah, let me think. I guess, you know what it was? It's so random, but I was sitting on the couch with my dad watching football, and this Budweiser commercial came on, and there was this song from like Bob Marley, Jamming. You know that song?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my dad I didn't know this at the time, but my dad was like crazy into Bob Marley. He would like follow him on like when he would come here for tours. I only think he came like once or twice, but he would like follow him around each time and see him at every show. And I remember asking him like, oh, what is this song? The song's amazing. And he was like, he lit up and took me to like his vinyl cabinet and he had like every single one. And that was kind of like the start of my journey.
Wow. So
yeah.
We got opera, Beatles, and Bob Marley.
So nothing like our current music.
Yeah, yeah. I was really into reggae for like most of my like adolescence life, which was I can't come from like a little surf town in California, so yeah.
Nice. Now, when you find the Beatles, you introduce your dad to the Beatles, Jennica. When did you kind of like maybe start to find your own way? Was there like a gateway band or artist that you heard that kind of led you out of those elementary years and getting older into finding other music? What was like the next progression after the Beatles for you?
Let's see. I mean, I kind of worked my way through the decades and eventually got to current music, I guess. I mean, I remember at some point, someone had given me a burned copy of a CD of, I think it was like the Strokes' first big album. And I remember being like, oh my God. And that's the first thing I remember, like in terms of like indie rock, that I was really like, what is this? I love this. So yeah, I guess that's probably it. I don't know. It's been a slow, my musical taste has been slowly evolving throughout my entire life, and it's like constantly changing. So, but I guess that's the first thing I remember that like I would classify as kind of indie rock. That's in the direction of what I'm doing now.
Nice. Digo, how about you? What was the like gateway after Bob Marley?
So it was a lot of reggae, and then I started playing in bands in high school. And then towards the end of high school, I started getting like really into a lot of like English, like Manchester, kind of like the Smiths and Joy Division, Stone Roses, that kind of music. And that was kind of my foray into leaving Santa Cruz, moving out to New York, and like really diving like headfirst into the music scene out in Brooklyn. that was kind of like the heyday of like real estate and like drums and Mac DeMarco when all that stuff was happening, and like you know, the whole DIY scene. This was really thriving in Brooklyn back then.
So when those leaps, and you mentioned something, and I'm going to just hit it right now. It usually comes later. But you mentioned you started playing in bands. How did that, like, what was your first, we know piano and getting thrown into opera school for Jennica, but what was your first like instrument that you were playing, Digo, that kind of led you to that first band?
Yeah, it was I used to take the bus to school each day, and there's this kid that was like a couple grades older than me, and he would always sit on the bus and play guitar. And I just thought he was so cool. He was a really good surfer too, and I really looked up to him. And so I asked him, I was like, "Hey, if I buy a guitar, will you string it for me?" And he was like, "Yeah, come over to my house." You know, he lived like 2 miles away. So my dad bought me like just the most grotesque acoustic guitar at the flea market. And it just had no strings. It probably cost $20. And I walked 2 miles over to his house, and he put these classical guitar strings on for me. And that was kind of the beginning of me trying to figure guitar out.
Okay, you figured guitar out, and you go to start a band. What was the name of the very first band you were ever in?
I'm embarrassed to say the first band, but I'll say it. It was called Liquid Sun was the first band. It's a terrible band name. And then the second one, which I don't mind, I think it's a cool band name, was called The Mugs.
I kind of like Liquid Sun better.
You like Liquid Sun? Yeah, there you go. So yeah, it was just a very Santa Cruz band name. Our musically, it was kind of like reggae, kind of folky, Americana. Yeah. Funky.
Yeah, that style, the Santa Cruz style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
now, Jennica, you weren't, you always wanted to be in a band, as you stated at the beginning, but were you possibly ever part of a band that had a name, or did you ever come up with a band name?
I had a friend, I'm trying to remember if I had any band names. I truly don't remember. The closest thing I was I had a friend who was in a band in New York, and I would sometimes sing backup for her at some of her shows. But that was it. So
for you, you were just always wanting to be a part of something. It sounds like, were you, besides singing backup, were you doing anything else musically that you knew would lead you to being in a band and meeting Digo and saying, I want to be in a band?
Honestly, not at the, well, I had bought, I think like 6 months before we met, I had bought a ukulele because I had always wanted to learn guitar, but it like felt kind of overwhelming to me. So I was like, oh, this only has 4 strings. This should be easier. So I had like learned a couple songs on that. But I hadn't really done, I mean, I did like in like high school and college, I did musical theater. But then I just like, I had studied acting, and then I went to New York, and I got frustrated with auditioning and decided I like didn't want to do that anymore. So I was just kind of like floating, working in restaurants, trying to figure out like early 20s what I wanted to do. And like it had just been something that I wanted to do, but it just like felt like the barrier of entry was so high. I didn't know anyone in the music industry. I didn't know how to play an instrument. I didn't know how to like start. So it was very fortuitous that we met, and and he was like an enabler and was like, no, you could do this. Like,
yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I don't know how to play. Like, all I know how to do is like classical piano. I don't know.
Well, thank you for being an enabler, Digo, because I'm happy of how it turned out. So
yeah.
I don't know if you guys are, but I am. So.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
We're happy. It's funny. What do you think?
Well, I was going to say, it's funny now, like music is like all that I do.
That's what I was
I'm also,
yeah.
I'm a mastering engineer also,
okay.
Which started like a little bit after I started the band. And so my entire life and living is based on music now. So it's funny to think that like when
there
we
was a
met.
time that we didn't really talk about music at all.
Yeah.
It's wild. Because now it's like even last night, there's like a time like where I'm like, we can't, like, we need to stop talking about music. Like it's like 10 o'clock at night and I need to like, wind down and go to sleep. And it's still Jennica walking in the room and being like, oh, so this master, I think I figured it out. I think, like we could just save it for tomorrow.
I drive my wife crazy. So like, she loves music, but not as, I always say she's the unseen face behind the brand because she does like the social media and stuff. But like, I know she gets sick of me being like, oh, check out this band I just found. I like, and I know I can hear the eye roll before I even like walk up to her. I'm just like, oh, here we go. I feel bad for people that don't have that passion though, too.
Right.
So from there, I mean, I'm performances in a way, I'm guessing, for you, Jennica, since you were put into it and thrown into it such a young age, that, remembering your first performance in a band, like, do you kind of remember the first time you performed in a band, or if this is, Colatura is that first performance as a full band, do you kind of remember that day and what it was like for you?
Oh, I definitely remember the first Colatura show. It was like I invited everyone everyone in my life who were suddenly like, wait, you're in a band now? I don't understand what's going on. Came like all these random friends and family members and stuff. And I remember I got on stage and played like really loud, kind of like garage rock, a little punk, a little surf music. And people were like, what is this? What is like our friend doing? So I remember, I don't know, it was like very weird seeing all these people. I think especially when you start a new band, people are like going to come out and see it and see what the new vibe is. But especially if it's like your first band ever, like all these people that I hadn't even seen in years, like came out of the woodwork to come to the show. And it was like truly bizarre to see like my mom and all her friends and like.
And it was at like a divey, like kind of warehouse place in Bushwick too. So it was even funnier that it was like some like kind of like opera type people that were there.
Yeah. So it was truly bizarre. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say I had stage fright because I literally have been on a stage like since I was really little, but I do remember being like, oh, because it was my first time playing bass in front of other people. So I remember being like a little nervous about that, but yeah.
When it was all over and you go up to your mother, what was your reaction to her reaction of what she just saw?
I don't know. I mean, she didn't understand it, but she was really proud of me. And so that felt good, I guess. I don't know. I felt cool. I felt
I'm sorry to have a Dr. Phil moment with you right now, but
yeah, no, it's fine. I haven't thought about this in a while. Yeah, I think I was just like proud that I had picked up a new instrument and I had learned it and had helped. I mean, early stuff, Digo was doing a lot of the songwriting, but I had definitely helped with it. And so it was just, I was proud to be like playing music that I had been part of writing on a new instrument in front of people and feeling like I could do something new. And seeing my mom be proud of me felt great.
Nice. Love that. See? And here we are. We're all happy. Digo, for you, your first performance in a band, do you remember where it was?
I think so. I think it was at like a house party in Santa Cruz. I actually have a picture of it. My shirt's off, and I remember playing a Sublime cover and just like thinking, like, man, I'm so cool.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, it was like on this hilltop at my friend's house, kind of overlooking all of Aptos, which is actually where I'm from, which is in Santa Cruz. And I just remember thinking that, yeah, this is why doesn't everyone do this? This is the greatest feeling ever. Yeah.
And here you are still doing it.
You're still doing it. The feeling has slightly changed. It's a lot more self-conscious now that I'm on stage. My shirt's definitely not off. I'm definitely not thinking, wow, I look so cool. That has faded over the years. But
don't let that fade. Don't let that fade. Don't let it go.
But the funness is still here. Yeah.
No. All right. So from your first performance to let's like to humanize people here to a performance that you've had in your time, Digo, it's a longer time performing, but a performance that occupies this space in your brain that when something goes wrong in a show now, you're like, well, at least it wasn't that. Do you remember a performance that was that, where you're like, everything is terrible and it will always occupy a part of your cortex that pops up at the worst fucking time?
I want to say I've had so many of those. The kind of one of the classic ones though is I did a Halloween show at this giant loft in Bushwick called Cheap Storage, and my band at the time, I think we were covering the Misfits, and I got blackout drunk and I shredded so hard. I was like on my knees. I was in the crowd. I was just ripping. I tore my shirt off. I've never played. And then I looked at the last song. I turned around. I never plugged my guitar in.
I was just going to say, was your guitar not plugged in?
It wasn't.
I swear to God.
In.
I was like, his guitar wasn't plugged in.
It wasn't plugged in. But I remember thinking, just because I couldn't hear it, but I just thought maybe that was the mix. I kept thinking like, man, I'm killing it. I'm on these solos. I just remember thinking I was doing such a good job. And it wasn't plugged in.
Oh, I love that. That made me happy. That made me smile. How about you, Jennica? Do you have a moment in time right now that something went wrong where you're like, well, if something goes wrong now, you're like, well, at least it wasn't that?
I don't know if it's something that went wrong so much as just like poor judgment. Is we got hired to do this fundraiser that we played. And it was, I think, 3 hours of music we needed to play. It was out in Fire Island, and we had just put out a single the day before, and we decided instead of playing a show for it that we were going to throw a house party. And then we had to get up. This like fundraiser thing we had to get up at like 8 a.m. the next morning, and I was so hungover for this show, which like would have maybe been manageable for like a normal length set, but playing 3 hours. We didn't have that much of our own music at that time, so we had to learn covers too. Yeah. So like trying to remember covers in like the hot sun, because it was an outdoor thing, I was just like so miserable. So nothing is going to ever be as miserable as that.
Well, I feel like you're leaving out a key part of that story in which you took edibles the night before and were high off your ass. And so you didn't sleep that night. And you were driving in the car over and you're like, Digo, please make it stop. Please make it go away. Please make it stop.
Yeah, I was still high when I showed up. And
I love that you just got checked on this show. You left out a key component to the story.
Yeah. I will say, I think we crushed it.
Yeah. we did play, we would play like a Colatura song, and then like 4 songs later we play the same song but just like instrumentally, and so that was our little thing, that we would just like cycle back through the songs playing them instrumentally and thinking no one noticed.
Yeah.
At a lot of those things no one's paying attention really.
Totally.
I will
People
say
were confused though. People were like, we were playing like, I don't know, like a Mac DeMarco cover, and just like it's our songs sometimes are like, some garage rock, and or people walking by with champagne flutes and just being like, what's happening?
Why am I here? Why are they here?
Yes, exactly.
I will say, I think we've gotten really good at rolling with the punches, especially like after this Europe tour. There were a lot of places where, the first show we ever played, we landed, we were all really, really jet lagged. It was we had done a red eye, and then we landed, and then we had to drive 3 hours to our first stop, and then we played that night that we landed. And I had like apparently not gotten the right step down machine for our in-ear rack, so I plugged it in and it immediately fried it. And we've been playing with in-ears for years, and so suddenly, like, jet lagged as fuck, like not knowing what time it was, like anything, and then suddenly not having like any of the
figuring out
system
monitor
that we're used to, like figuring out. And they didn't have monitors because we were the only band playing, and we had told them we didn't need monitors, so they didn't have any monitors there. So I was like hearing myself sing out of the main speakers, and but I listened back to, and I was like, this is a disaster. But we rolled with it. We played, I think because we were so tired, there was like, we weren't overthinking. We played pretty well. And I don't know, I heard back videos after, and I was like somehow in tune, and we sounded good. So after that, I was sort of like, we can roll with anything.
Yeah, you're on autopilot at that point too. Yeah. You're just like, well, yeah, we know the songs, so we're going to play them. We know how they're supposed to be played.
Yeah,
totally.
All right, going from a horrible moment to let's go to a moment that stands out for you performance-wise in your life, Digo, that you're just like, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that honestly, we just in this last tour when we played in Paris, we were the headlining band, and we didn't know what to expect, and it was like a sold out room, and just like people were singing our lyrics, and just to think that we could be in like a different country where we don't speak the language and people know our lyrics is like kind of was like mind blowing to me.
That's music, universal language, man, around the world.
But it still shocks me that like these like silly songs that we like write in our our apartment here, people in other countries hear and resonates with them. And I know that's a thing. I know there's bands I just never thought it would happen to me, I guess. I don't know. So I guess that's one of those moments.
Nice. How about you, Jennica?
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much what I was going to say. I guess just to like add on to it is when we got back, we played this really big show back in Pittsburgh. We were opening for Blondshell. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know them. They're awesome. Yeah. And there were like 700 or 800 people there. And we were the opener, so I wasn't sure how many people were going to actually like know us or be there for us. And there were people like not only singing, but like singing along, like shouting out lyrics, which I thought was only for like giant artists. And it was like very, very cool. Like, I don't feel like we're a big enough artist yet to have people like audibly singing along, and but they were, and it's just such a cool feeling to be like, wow, I wrote this, and you're like, you've memorized it and you're singing it.
Yeah, they showed you that you are a big enough artist to have it done, and that's the point of it. Like, I love that. Good on you guys.
Yeah, it was really cool. I didn't know if I never have expectations for success. Like, I'm just happy to be doing it. So if people are like,
we're honestly usually shocked, to be honest. Like, yeah, like we do this because this is all we do, and it's like all I know how to do. And so like when things when things happen where I don't know, I feel really humbled and like almost like looking like, are they is it us? Is it our music? Like I feel confused a lot of the time, to be honest.
Well, talking about people singing songs back to you, I would love to see it. I hope that there's a different answer for both of you, but I'm going to start with Jennica. If no one ever heard of the band, never heard a song from you guys, and you had 3.5 minutes in front of them and said, okay, here's a song, what song of yours are you playing for them that's currently released out into the world?
I Want to Get Better.
Tell you how you feel, that life you dream. so good, why am I not better? You're so good. You're so good. You're so good. You're so
I think it's my favorite song that we have written, and it's very personal to me, and I feel like there's a lot of emotion in it, and it's also really catchy, in my opinion, and I don't know, cool fuzzy guitars. I feel like it does a good job of encapsulating our current sound, so that's
All
what
right.
I would play.
We're going to start some band strife here. Digo, what would you play for somebody that never heard you guys before?
I think I'd play "Are You Content" because that's the song that I sing in. So I want to give them a little taste of my smooth vocal prowess. Jennica also sings in it, but she's the second verse, so they have to wait to hear her. Also, just some real nice shoegaze guitar sounds on that one. All around great song. It's been our endings. It's been our last song of the set for 3 years now.
Yeah.
And
it has also been released since it was on our 2022 album. And every time we play it live in front of people who've seen us a bunch of times, they're like, "Is that song new?"
Yeah, that last one. You guys should release that last one. That last one's a banger. Yeah.
I will say that is the most fun to play live because
It's
we
a lot
get
of fun.
really, really heavy and just crazy at the end.
Yeah, my chiropractor told me I had to get less crazy because I used to really headbang kind of wild on that one, and I couldn't move my neck for a couple months after one show, so I've toned it down a little bit.
Just go get one of those fucking copper fucking braces or whatever. You'll be fine.
There you go. Yeah, that'll be a good look.
Now, Jennica, you said that "I Want to Get Better" is your favorite song. Is it 100% that's your favorite song that you have ever created to this point of Colatura?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we were actually listening through some because we're in a writing phase right now, so we were going through and listening through some old demos last night, and there's some pretty bad songs that I've written in there. So ones that I was sure at the time several years ago were hits, and no one will ever hear them. I should delete them out of Dropbox.
Don't ever delete them. They could always turn into something special. You never know. Don't ever get rid of something. Don't ever get rid of an idea. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
An idea became an idea for a reason. The reason doesn't need to show itself immediately. Sometimes things need to stew a little.
Yeah, that's true.
I will say I also really I don't know. I really like all the songs on our current EP. The one that we just
I really
put out.
like "I Can Talk to Your Voicemail." I feel like that's one that didn't seem to get much love on the EP, but I think it's some of our best lyric writing to date, and kind of a different vibe than we usually do. So I was really proud of that song personally.
Now, in the writing phase, and you talk about things you were listening to on tour, and does it make it harder at this point that you may have thought you found the sound you're supposed to do to try to do something new again?
I don't think, doesn't make it harder for me. I feel like a lot more confident. I feel like before I was always kind of searching for I was thinking too hard about what maybe other people wanted to hear. And now I really feel like we can make the music that we want to make. And that feels like a really good place to be at.
I like that attitude.
Yeah, I totally agree. I really love the music we're making now, and it also seems to be resonating with people. So I'm sure it's going to shift a little bit as we continue to write, but yeah, I don't know. I feel really happy with the sort of direction that we've found.
Nice. I like that. All right. First concert you ever went to, and the first concert you got to choose to go to, Digo.
You're going to be surprised by this, but it was the Wailers, minus Bob Marley, because he had passed. But yeah, it was the Wailers. The first one I chose to go to, I think, was Primus. Don't ask me why, but I did. I chose to go to Primus, and he plays a mean bass.
That boy Les can play mean bass. Jennica.
The first concert I went to is absurd, and I don't even know. I mean, it must have been all ages because I was really little, and I don't know why I was allowed to go to this. But my older cousin, was going to a Kid Rock concert, and we were visiting. They lived in Ohio, and we were visiting, and I got asked if I wanted to go, and I must have been like, I don't know, 9 or 10. And I ended up going to a Kid Rock concert. I do not like Kid Rock. I hated it. I was miserable the whole time I was there.
Well, ball to the bar.
Yeah,
that song rules.
I mean, that's some scary shit for a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, so that was the first concert. And then, God, I don't know.
Then he swore off concerts.
Never went to another one again.
Yeah. I mean, I lived in Manhattan growing up, so I would go to like summer stage stuff. I remember, like in Central Park. One thing I know that I decided to go to, my friends and I were all really into the Indigo Girls, in like, I don't know, middle school and high school. So I know I went to some Indigo Girls concerts. My dad used to like date the aunt of one of them. So he always got free tickets for us.
Well, he was more than closer to fine.
Yeah. Yes. Very nice what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw Fiona Apple once in Central Park. That was pretty awesome. But yeah, probably the Indigo Girls is the first one.
Nice.
I decided to go to.
Yeah, hey man, I went to Lilith Fair, so I mean, there's no judgment for anything. So now, I don't know if it happened for you growing up in Manhattan, but I'm sure it happened for Digo. The day you get your license is kind of the day you have your freedom. And it's the first time you kind of get to choose to throw something in the car and drive by yourself. Do you remember what you listen? If it's the Wailers or Bob Marley, I'm gonna fucking die here. But
it's not Bob Marley.
Okay, but yeah. So the day you get your driver's license, you go to take your first, alone ride. What were you listening to?
That's a good question. I probably went surfing with my friends, and we were probably listening to a Santa Cruz legendary band. 2 of them, and it was either Devil Makes 3 or the Expendables. Devils Make 3 is kind of like Psychobilly, and Expendables is a Sublime ripoff, basically. It ruled.
Nice. Jenica, growing up in Manhattan, it's hard to get in a car and just drive down a highway and not see red lights the whole way. But do you remember when you got your license, what you first listened to? And I know it wasn't stick shift. You weren't driving manual. So
I actually cheated the system because I really wanted to drive. And my grandmother lived in South Carolina, and the driving age was 15.
15. Oh.
Yeah, you could get your driver's permit at 15. And then if you took driver's ed, 3 months later, you could get your license. So
scam artist.
I scammed the system.
You lied about doing edibles. You're scamming the system to get a license. You were a badass. Wow.
Yeah. Although I forgot. I just recently went and finally switched my driver's license over to Pittsburgh from New York. And they were asking me like, where else you've had licenses? And I almost forgot. And then I was like, oh, wait. No, also South Carolina. So yeah, because New York, it was you couldn't drive in Manhattan until you were 18. So, so I actually did get my license at 15, and
this Dave Matthews, wasn't it?
No, actually, I would say
Matchbox 20.
Come on, like South Carolina, windows down, Hoodie's playing. Come on, nothing gets better.
I will say the first time that I like really drove was between my I think junior and senior year. I was doing I got a summer internship in DC, and I was living with my like older cousins, and they let me use their car, and there was one CD in that car. I don't know if it was stuck or if it was just the only thing that never got swapped out, but for some reason, like a burned copy of Avril Lavigne's like first album, Let Go, I think it's called, was in there. And that's just like, I listened to that on repeat all summer because that was the only thing that was there.
So you love Skater Boys.
I guess I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
wow. Something getting stuck. I mean, that's, I'm old. So it was a cassette getting stuck in my car. And I think it was West Side Connection.
Hell yeah. That rules.
All right. Band in your life, Digo, a band that never lets you down. The constant in your life of bands. Some people like ask favorite bands. Ask for the band that never lets you down that you constantly listen to when you don't know what else to listen to.
Maybe a polarizing band, but probably the Smiths.
That is a polarizing band.
Yeah, it's polarizing.
Yeah. How about you, Jennica?
I don't know if this is like bad because it's kind of a repeat answer, but I don't know. When we were on tour recently, like in Europe, when we crossed into the UK, everyone was like, we got to listen to the Beatles. So we listened through a bunch of the albums, and I just like, I don't know. It's just like, I never don't enjoy listening to them. And it's just, there's so many different songs, and there's such good and interesting songwriters. And it's like a bit of nostalgia and also a bit of like, these are really great songs. So I'd say the Beatles is like,
yeah, I'm going to let you have that. I usually call poo poo on that because it's like, it's the easy answer for people a lot of times, but I'm going to let you have that one.
Okay.
Because
Thank you.
because of how you started the show and told me how the Beatles came to you. So I'm going to give that to you because I usually let people, I'm like, no. I'm like, that's the easy answer that someone could give. But the way you prefaced it 40 minutes ago, I'm going to allow that to stand.
Thank you. That's very generous of you.
My show, I can do what I want. So,
yeah. So you make the rules.
Yeah. All right. How about something you listen to, Jennica, that people would be really surprised that you jam on all the time?
That people would be surprised. I mean, I don't know that I jam on all the time.
You get tons of enjoyment out of it when you hear it. For me, it's Jamiroquai.
Oh.
So yeah. So like that's how I like usually do that. Like I'm a guy covered in fucking tattoos and grew up punk rock and like Jamiroquai's that's my dude. Like that's I'm all in. I got caught listening to that and someone called me out and I'm like, I still had at my elder years that 1 ounce of second where I'm just like, I just got caught listening to Jamiroquai.
I mean, I love a good pop song. Like I love some classic Britney Spears. Toxic, I think, is a perfect pop song. I mean, it's trendy now, but I was listening to Chappell Roan like before she was blew up, and
you were cool before she was cool.
Yeah. So I don't know. I love a good pop, some pop music. So maybe I'll go with Chappell Roan or Britney Spears.
Okay. How about you, Digo? Your guilty pleasure.
Oh, I have so many. And I don't think I'm not embarrassed. I'll listen to anything, anytime. But I think what would surprise maybe some people is I listen to a lot of like DJ music, like UK garage, like just a lot of like music like that. I like hyperpop a lot. I like hip hop a lot. So I'm usually listening to like one of those 3 genres like most of the time.
Nice.
I will say one thing that I do listen to that I'm like embarrassed to admit, but I will anyway, is that I listen to like our own music. Like I listen to Colatura, and I feel like that's kind of like weird and taboo, but
it's not.
I don't do that.
You'd be surprised of how many people do that and have said it here. So you're not in like this weird category by yourself.
Okay. All right.
It's totally fine.
I feel like I don't like to admit that, but like I'm always worried with the Spotify Wrapped or something. I mean, not that I post mine anyway, but like I'm always worried that we're gonna like pop up in my top.
I had an artist the other day show me. They're like, Yeah, my Wrapped came in, and my band was the most I listened to anything.
Yeah. I just like, I don't know, especially when it's like because we'll like play them live all the time, but then you like don't listen to them recorded. And I feel like I listen to them a lot, like if when we're about to put them out, as I'm like trying to edit the music video or whatever, I'm like editing clips, and then I'll go away from it for a little bit. And then sometimes I like to sort of like turn off my brain about thinking that it's my music and listen to it. And I just like, I don't know, I'm really proud of the songs, and it's like makes me emotional sometimes listening to them. So, but but I don't like to admit that.
Well, you just did, and to millions of people. So it
feels like a safe space.
Yeah.
When I was in the cab on the way to the airport with our bass player, and the driver found out we were in a band, and he put the band on while we were driving, and it was like nails on the chalkboard. I was like, let me just walk to the airport. Just let me out here. Can't hear one more second of this song.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love both of those things right now.
We're very polar opposite, Jennica and I. I feel like sometimes that's why we work well together, because we like come at life like in completely different ways. And I don't know, maybe that's good.
It is good. I mean, but from the music that I hear, I think it's a recipe for success. So, last song you cried to, Jennica?
Ooh, I actually
Don't cry.
No. I recently like ended up bawling at do you know this artist Eliza McLamb?
Yes.
So she, off her last album, there's a song called Glitter, and I loved the song when I listened to it, and then I had forgotten about it, and then I recently came across the music video for it, and it's like this incredible music video about like two friends that like best friends, like girls, and growing up, and I like made me bawl. It's just like, so part of that's the music video, but also just like the song with it, just like I just was like sitting in my studio just like sobbing. So I'd say that.
Nice. Digo, you're from Santa Cruz, so I'm guessing it's probably like something Jack Johnson as you fell off your surfboard. But
I didn't even bring up Jack Johnson because I was too embarrassed. But I'm glad that you threw it out there.
Yeah,
because he's an absolute legend for us.
But
did I cry? No, I've never cried to a Jack Johnson song. No. I've only cried to one song in my life, and I don't know why. I don't even listen to this genre of music. It was an album. I don't know. It's Love Supreme by John Coltrane.
Wow.
Had a couple drinks. It was a beautiful summer day in Brooklyn, and I just was weeping like a child as I walked down the street.
Wow. You and your drinks make you cry to Coltrane and make you not plug in your guitar and shred in front of a bunch of people. That's awesome. I can't wait to see you guys live.
Yep.
All right. 5 minutes left to live. Meteors hurling into the earth. You have to listen to one song and one song only. What are you listening to, Jennica?
Oh, well, you're going to nix this because it's going to be Beatles again.
Yeah,
it's going to be My Guitar, While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
That's fine. It was right there though. Like the name of the song was there. You're fine with it. Yeah. And this is actually where I've had two people throw their own band song in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, now that's a little cheese, but
for me, I'm stuck between two songs. So I play half of one and then I play half of the other.
So make that you got to make that mashup now, so it's right on your phone at all times.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna make it. It'll be ready. It'll be the end of the world track. And it'll be This Charming Man, and then I Want to Be Adored by the Stone Roses.
Nice.
Those will be it. And I will say, smiling.
I have a second option if you're like over how much I've mentioned the Beatles.
It's fine. People love them. I get it. Number one selling band in the history of the world. I get it. It's fine.
Are you one of those people that don't like the Beatles? You can say it. It's cool.
I don't. I've tried really hard, and all the bands that I love all derive from what the Beatles started, and I completely understand that. I cop to it. Some of my favorite bands, Big Star, the Posies. You got two leads.
Great.
Like that is the harmonizing. I'm a huge Beach Boys fan. So I understand where it all came from. I've put in the work too. Like, I'm one of those people that, like, I know what I don't like because, like, I know what foods I don't like because I've tried them more than once and I know I don't like them. I know what drinks I don't like. I know what music I don't like because I put in the work to be like, I just don't like it. I get why people do, but I'm like, I own close to 10,000 records in my own collection, plus CDs, probably 7,000 CDs. I don't own anything by the Beatles.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Even the new Paul McCartney album that just came out a couple years ago.
Nope.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
And people are like, it's so weird. Like, I'm like, I get it. It wasn't made for me, I guess. Like,
I respect that answer. I feel like a lot of people I know don't like the Beatles just because it's like a cool thing to say, is like, oh, I don't like the Beatles. So I respect that you want to like, you tried to like them and they just didn't connect with you.
I so want to like it. I mean, I had to fucking sing Let It Be in 3rd grade in front of the entire school. Like, like I want to like it. And I do. Like, I'll put on Beatles stuff, like, because I have to listen to shit when people come to sell records at the store, and I got to make sure that there's no cracks, no pops. And then I put on Beatles records and I'm like, it's just, to me, it's just stuff on in the background. And I'm just like, yeah, just not connecting with me for one reason or another. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I wish there was a reason, like, that I knew why I didn't like it, why it didn't connect with me.
Do you know what that band is for me?
What?
Radiohead.
I see, but that I can kind of understand.
Really? Because I feel like I'm like people will talk about Radiohead and I'll have to like feign like, but in my head I'm like, no, it's just
no. I get it because they're to me they're a polarizing band, and I don't understand. And I do like, so for me Radiohead is Pablo Honey, and that's it. Like, because that's like rock music. But I've talked about this before, where I don't know how some bands are allowed to just do whatever they want from record to record and not lose any of their original fans and garner new fans along the way as well.
Yeah.
And
it's impressive.
And it's one of those bands that I'm like, I don't know why it's them. Like, who said that this is the band that is allowed to fucking change every fucking record and do some crazy shit and get more fans and not lose any fans from the beginning? Like, so I completely understand Radiohead being that one of those. Yeah.
I didn't know you felt that way about
I
Radiohead.
did. Yeah.
Interesting. You think you know a person.
Yeah, right.
See, I will say I don't know. I'd be curious to know if if I was like introduced to the Beatles today, if I would like them, like how much of it is just a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, and I mean, that's why I gave it to you earlier, because like the way that the Beatles were introduced to you, because you didn't know anything else at the time. That's why it makes total sense to me why it's so, like, that's the Beach Boys for me. So like this whole show started because of my first musical memory question, because I remember being 6 years old in the back of a 1978 Plymouth Oldsmobile on the Garden State Parkway, and the Beach Boys, Little Surfer coming on the radio. And that, to this day, is the reason why I'm doing everything I am in music, because of that moment, because I heard that song. And that's why the Beach Boys, to me, are like, that's what I always go back to. So I understand that nostalgic thing, because it leads you to somewhere. And it really is, it's a special moment. So like that moment, I completely connect with you on that, Jennica. So I'm not like trying to throw shade because of the Beatles. I'm just saying I get it. So that's why I'm allowing your answers to go through.
All right. Because I mean, I have tons of other music I love, but like when I think about like the thing that like I always come back to that I'm never going to get sick of, it's that.
I get it. I never get sick of the Beach Boys. So I understand that.
Even like late era Beach Boys, like Kokomo.
It's still a great fucking song, man.
Oh man.
I mean, with a hot John Stamos on fucking drums, I mean, how can
Yes. So you consider John Stamos as a Beach Boy?
I consider him an honorary Beach Boy, not
original,
not a Beach Boy. All right, another horrible question. There's an unfortunate incident. Your domicile is burning to the ground. All living things and creatures and goldfish and gerbils and ferrets and everything is out safely. Everyone is out safe, alive, well, but you get a minute to run back in and grab one musical thing that means the most to you. What thing are you running back in for, Jen?
Oh, I have to go first. I mean, realistically, the thing I'm grabbing is like either my hard drive or my mastering headphones. Like I have really fancy headphones. Because like in that moment, I'm thinking either the piece of gear that's the most expensive or my hard drive has like all of the demos on it. So
okay,
I don't know if those count. But...
No, listen, people use your computer. I get it. I understand because it is, but just fucking back them up on the cloud, man.
That's true. I'm not good about that. I should do that. I'm going to back them up tonight and then I'll probably still grab my headphones.
All right. How about you, Digo?
I say let it burn all to the ground and I'll start fresh. I don't need any of this stuff. Not a thing. Let me think.
Your guitar is really nice.
Yeah, I got a pretty cool guitar.
Or your pedal board?
Pedal board, yeah. Pedal board would be nice. My pedal board fits inside my guitar case, so I just take that's a twofer. I'll take that.
Lucky. Yeah. See? Look at you.
There it is.
So other than your guitar case and pedal board, do you have like any music memorabilia or record, t-shirt, poster, something that means a lot to you that you would hate to see go?
I don't know. For me, maybe it's a weird coping mechanism, but I'm not sentimental about anything. Yeah, I'm just like...
Good for you. I'm very sentimental. That's why I'm as my wife calls me, an organized hoarder.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I sometimes challenge Jennica to like find something and ask if she like, I'll just throw it away. That's fine. I don't need it anymore. I don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that comes to mind that I have had trouble getting rid of is I have all these like burned CDs from my friend, like my best friend from high school, that like are mixes she made, and they're like written in Sharpie, and I still have all of them, even though I like could very easily just make the playlists on Spotify. I don't have a CD player, so I have no way of playing them, so there's no good reason for me to keep them other than that I'm sentimental about them. So yeah, I guess maybe that counts.
I just thought of something. My uncle just passed away this year. Yeah. And he was in a really cool band in like the 80s, late 80s, early 90s in San Francisco called the Offs. And they printed like 100, maybe 45s. And I have one of those 45s and it rules. And I'd be really sad if I lost that. So that's in my 45 collection.
Nice. They also did a 10-inch of it, right?
Oh, do you know that band?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I have the 10-inch. So,
sick.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. See, find out little nuggets as we go along. I love
it.
Well, I mean, I've kept you guys here for over an hour, so I apologize for that. But
that's fine. We weren't doing anything else.
Yeah.
Good. Now that makes me feel so much better. We had nothing better to do tonight. So, wow. But so before we move into our final segment, I'd love to give you guys the opportunity, whoever wants to, let everybody know how they can, keep up with what you guys are doing. It's basically throw out your handles, how they can support you. Again, people, please go out, support the bands that you enjoy their music from, whether it's buying a song for $1 on Bandcamp or buying a t-shirt at the show. It helps the bands that you enjoy listening to be able to give you more of what you already enjoy. So now's the opportunity for you guys to tell everybody how it is that they can do those types of things.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that we most frequently post on is Instagram. That is just Colatura is the handle. And that auto posts to Facebook. So you can find those posts on Facebook too. That I think is at Colatura Band. But yeah, we're pretty much Colatura everywhere. We've got Bandcamp. If you feel like buying music or merch, or all the other streaming platforms, just search for Colatura. I think we're the only one. There's a Coldplay song called Coloratura that sometimes pops up before us, but other than that, yeah. We're on TikTok, although that's pretty
What is that?
hit or miss and kind of cringy. So,
yeah,
It's
the TikTok,
save
the TikTok and the X or Twitter or whatever. Anybody, I'm like,
yeah.
people are like, hey, do you have a TikTok channel? I'm like, I don't. What the fuck? I'm almost 50. No, I don't.
Yeah. We have a mailing list if you want to get like one email a year from us.
They're good though. They're good. The email's good.
I put a lot of thought
They
into
make it
them.
worth it. They make it worth
It's one a year, but
yeah.
it's worth it.
It's that email you're never going to delete. You're going to show all your friends.
Yeah.
Well, we're in our final segment. Our final segment here is it's our weekly threes. It's 3 things you're listening to that you would like people to check out. Since there's 2 of you, you're only going to get 2 each, so you'll have 4 combined. I get 3 because I'm one person, but it's our weekly 3 segment of just being able to share music with people that we're listening to. So whoever want to go first?
Me? Okay. What am I? I've been listening to, we played with this band called Mamalarky. When we were in France, they have a new album called HexKey that really rules that I've been really getting into. Also, Wombo is a sick band. Dangers in 5 is their record that just came out. That's super sick. So those are the 2 that I've been listening to.
Let's see. We this past summer opened for the band Dead from Chicago at this cool festival in Pittsburgh, and I always loved them, but had sort of like stopped listening. And after we saw them live, which they were awesome live, I started listening to them again. So I don't know. I love. I think Blue Skies is my favorite of their albums. Other things you should check out are our very good friends in this band called Wetsuit. Just put out an album. I got to master it, so I think it sounds awesome personally.
Sure it does.
But yeah, they're really awesome, and they're a small up and coming band from Brooklyn, and they rock. So people should listen to them. More people should listen.
Nice. All right, my first one for this week is an artist, Kaylee Goldsworthy. Learning to Be Happy is the name of the album. Very indie popish type of stuff, but it's hard to quantify exactly what it is, but it just sounds beautiful. So that's one. Number 2 is a band called Poppy Wizard. Very shoegazy and fuzzy. Name of the album is Point and Shoot. And last but not least, Jennica, Yonaka, UK. They're from the UK. It's like poppy alt rock. I mean, I don't know where these genre labels fucking come from sometimes, but that's how they describe themselves. But yeah, Hit Me When I'm Sore is the name of the album. But those are the 3 things I've been listening to.
I haven't heard any of them, and I'm excited to listen to them.
Nice.
Poppy Wizard, what a name. That's sick.
Yeah.
You guys were on my 3s, so that's it's a fun part for me to have a band on my 3s and then have that band on the show. So it's been a very nice time spending time with you guys. My biggest thing and my biggest thank you is, thank you so much for the music you created that brought me to you. It's not lost on me. It's not lost on other people in the world by, people in Paris screaming at you, your lyrics. I mean, it's important what you do and what you create. It's special. And I just want to say, huge heartfelt thank you for that.
That really means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And everybody out there in the world, you know what time it is now. It's time to go out, listen to Colatura, and have a great fucking time. Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.